Welcome back to today's plugin tutorial. We're going to be going over ShopGUI Plus today, and as it says, it's an advanced, high-quality GUI shop perfect for every server. This will allow you to sell anything and everything from enchantments to mob spawners to just general items on your server in a GUI format, allowing people to buy as much or as little as they want. Pretty much every major server out there has them, and why not go ahead and add them to your server? As you can see, spawners, food, anything you want to add, you can add to these categories. We're going to be showing you how to set up categories, as well as how to go in and add new things and new items to these categories, how to get everything organized. It's all going to be covered in this video. Now, this is a premium plugin, so it is going to cost you $9.99 on Spigot in order to use it on your server. It is well worth it in my opinion, but it is a paid plugin. It also does have a dependency, which is Vault. This is completely free. You can find a link to ShopGUI Plus and Vault in the description down below. Now, I am assuming that you know how to add plugins to your Apex server. If you don't, here is a tutorial on exactly how to do that. That is also linked in the description down below. This goes over exactly how to add plugins, how to do everything, files, all of that is covered here. So nevertheless, go through all of that, and then once you've done that, we can get on into configuring ShopGUI Plus. Now, in order to configure ShopGUI Plus, we do need a text editor. Atom is my text editor of choice, but it's up to you. You can use Notepad++. There are tons of different text editors out there, but Atom is what we'll be using in this video, and it is 100% free, so if you do want to use it, you can do so using the link in the description down below. So nevertheless, we've got that. Let's go ahead and minimize our browser here, and here is FileZilla. This is basically where we need to go to be able to jump into our plugins folder here, and then see ShopGUI Plus. Now again, Vault is required for ShopGUI Plus to work, so make sure you've got that if you don't already install it. If ShopGUI Plus wasn't working on your server, most likely you just need to install Vault. You also need to make sure that you do have the correct version for your server. As you can see, this one's titled Spigot 1.13. If you have a 1.12.2 or below server, you're going to use a different jar than if it's 1.13. So both are gotten from the same download page, but just make sure you have the correct one installed. Nevertheless, if we go into the ShopGUI Plus folder here, we can see that in here is the config, the language.yml, the price modifiers.yml, and the shops.yml. Today we're just going to be focusing on the config and the shops.yml files. Language allows you to change some of the wording and things that, this plugin says. For example, what feedback it gives you when you sell items, things like that. Cool to customize, but not something you have to do and something you can easily look over yourself. The price modifiers is exactly that. You can add in price modifiers based on different permissions and things like that. We will be covering that a little bit later, but we won't be just jumping into that in full today. However, we do need to go ahead and get the config file and the shops.yml file and get them on our desktop here. Once we've downloaded them, we can go ahead and start off by looking at the config file for ShopGUI Plus. Now, there is actually very good documentation from the developer here. Also, of course, linked in the description down below. It's a great resource down there. Check it out. Once you're here, you can see all of the stuff that this developer has for us. Everything from how to add shops and adding items to the shop. So here's adding shops, and it goes in depth with that, more in depth than I'll even be able to cover in this video. So if there's some nuanced stuff that you want to do, it is good to look over this documentation. And then adding items to the shop. So it goes over adding all of the different items to the shop, how everything works, how you do it, all of that stuff. Enchantments are a bit different. You can also add the ability to buy permissions via your ShopGUI setup, and here is how to do that. It is all here. Mob spawners also have a bit of a different setup, and that is that. And then obviously commands can be purchased and ran. You can have someone say pay $300 to get into a warp. You can do that here with ShopGUI Plus as well. And then you can talk about all the different customizations and stuff you can do with the GUI. It is very, very customizable, and that's why it is good to check out this documentation when you have a chance. However, we're going to get it up and running for you today in a basic manner, and you'll be able to figure it out from there, even if you don't want to use the documentation, but I would suggest using it if you have the chance. So nevertheless, here on our desktop, we do have the shops.yml and the config.yml. We're going to start off with the config.yml file. Once we open it up here in Atom, we'll be able to see that you can use this on MySQL. So you don't have to, but you can use it on MySQL. I personally have never used ShopGUI Plus on MySQL, but let's say you wanted to sync everything between two servers on a network, you could do that using that. Economy type is Vault here. As you can see, there are a few different ones, but I don't know why you wouldn't use Vault, so Vault is there. Now, shop menu name is exactly what it says. When you type /shop in game, what do you want the shop menu name to be? And I'm gonna actually change this to Apex Shop. That way you know that we've changed this, and you'll actually be able to see that it is changed in game. Shop menu size, how big do you want the menu to be? Let me pull up the game real quick and show you exactly what I mean. So here we are in game, and now we can just do /shop, and we'll be able to see here is the shop GUI. And by how big the menu is this right here, right? So currently, if we come back over to here, we can see a menu size of 45 slots. Let's say we drop that to 36. So we change that to 36. We're obviously going to save it. We'll then need to upload it to our server here. So if we jump over here, we can upload it to our server. This is our config file. And then in game, we don't need to restart the server or anything. We can actually just do /shop space reload to preview all of our changes. Now we do /shop again, we'll see that we did lose a row there. If you wanted to make it even smaller, you could do that. Change it down from 36 to 27. You can do all sorts of stuff. We'll also be able to see how we changed Apex Shop, made that Apex Shop. We can see Apex Shop. See that? Pretty cool stuff. Very, very simple to do. So we've changed that to 27. And then you've got the shop menu fill item right here. Black stained glass. As you can see, black stained glass is all over here. If we wanted to change that to white stained glass, we can. So let's go ahead and do that. And then you can go down through here and just kind of read over everything. So enable sell all. That's talking about selling stuff back to this server, right? So if you do /sell all, and as you can see, I don't have any items to sell, but let's say I did have an item that I could sell, it would sell all of what I had in my inventory. That can be an issue if you allow selling armor on your server and stuff. So either don't allow selling armor or don't allow sell all. So yeah. And then as you can see, all of this is here. I'm not going to go through all of this because it's all very well documented, right? Everything here is done. Now, item stack capped size is actually very, very, very good, very helpful. And basically what this means is you won't be able to buy more than one of these as a stack, right? So let's say we come in here and add in water bucket or anything, shulker box, but let's just do water bucket. Now, we'll only be able to buy one of a water bucket. Otherwise, you could buy 64 of stacked water, and then if you go to place the water, it'll break. So yeah, that's something that you do want to look at there. You can also disable the shop if you're in adventure, creative, or spectator mode. That way, if you do have those options on the server, people can't sell stuff while they're in creative, stuff like that. Disable shops in worlds. Let's say you don't want people to be able to join in the nether. You can do that. And then you can come on down through here and just look at all of these. I mean, there's so much stuff here. So you want to change what, it says for buying and selling an item, like the lore here. You can change the buy and sell price and what it says and all of that stuff. And whether it says middle button or MB and all sorts of stuff can be changed here. It's not too difficult. It's very, very simple to just look through all this and read through all this. And I would definitely recommend you doing that. Just because of time, we're not going to be going through every single thing in this config. What I want to do is add a new shop. So if we scroll down towards the bottom here, we'll be able to see the shops that are available. So yeah, here we are, the shop menu items right here. So that's near the bottom of the config. Now we come over here, we'll actually be able to see what I'm talking about. So if we do /shop in game, we'll be able to see a grass block. As you can see, item 1, grass blocked, and then a cooked chicken, and then ores, and then an iron pickaxe, and then all of this stuff down through here. See all of that? So basically, this is where you can edit all of that. And we're going to add another one right down here. And then I'm also going to show you how to move this one over, right, the saddle, to make it look a little better. So let's go down to the bottom because we're adding one down here, right? And so we want to move this back one slot. And how these are labeled is this is slot 0, right? So start over here, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. And then this is slot 8, and then jumps down to 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way over. So you get the point. But it starts 0 here, then it goes to 8, and then it goes back down. 9 starts here, and then it goes all the way over and all the way down. So if this is in slot 31, we want to move this back one slot to slot 30. Then I'm going to go ahead, and I always say you don't need to code, right? You don't need to code and stuff like this. All you got to do is copy and paste. So if we just copy number 9 there and then change it from 9 to 10, right? Change that number from 9 to 10. Then we need to decide what item this is going to be. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do in here. I think it's going to be kind of random stuff. So we'll just make it like a dirt block, right? So DIRT, dirt. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know that this is called dirt? Well, if you come back over into the description of this video, we will have this right here. See this? This is the configuration and all of their basically documentation for ShopGUI Plus. But on the left-hand menu under ShopGUI Plus here, you can see the left-hand menu under the other down here at the bottom. You'll be able to see the item IDs and material lists. So if we go ahead and click on materials list here, we'll be able to see all the materials in game. And as you can see, right here is going to be dirt. Eventually, there's a lot of materials in Minecraft. There is dirt. If you want to make it diorite, you can name it diorite. We'll do diorite. Why not? Go ahead and just copy that, come back over into Atom and paste that where we had dirt. Quantity, how many diorite do you want to be displayed? Probably just 1, because everything else is just 1 and it would look weird otherwise. What do you want this to be named? I'm going to name this R Shop, because it's the one we're setting up in here. So we're going to do R Shop. Now these are bucket color codes at the beginning, and if you don't know about bucket color codes, just Google bucket color codes. We also can provide a link in the description down below. But basically, this is color codes that correspond with different things. So I like blue, so we're going to do and B, and then we're going to bold it with the and L there, where it says our shop. The shop ID, we will need this later, so you do need to remember what your shop ID is. I'm just going to make it our shop, all one word, exactly like that there. And then for our slot, so if this is in slot 30, right, we want ours to be in the slot right here. So this is in 30, then 31, 32. So we want to make sure ours is in slot 32. Now if we go ahead and save this, we then need to jump back over, upload the config file via our FTP client here, and then do a reload of ShopGUI with /shop space reload. Hit enter, and then do /shop. And as you can see here, it did make it smaller. It did make it white stained glass. We actually ended up making it too small. So as you can see, it cut off the bottom layer there. So what we want to do is come back over into our config file, go up to the top this time, and we made this too small here. We're going to go ahead and bump this back up to 45. Save that, re-upload it, and then reload the plugin in game, and then we'll be able to see the shop that we added. So if we do /shop, as you can see, here is the diorite, and it says our shop. Now, if we click on that, it's going to error out. As you can see, shop ID with our shop not found. That is correct. And now we can jump over to the shops.yml file here. See that? That is our shops.yml file. And in here you'll find all of the shops that you already have configured in game by default. As you can see, you have blocks, and here it all is, configured in-game. All of the blocks set up and looking good. For example, Birch Log, we come over here, here's Birch Log. Then if you go to the next page here, we'll be able to see Enchanting Table on the next page. Scroll all the way down to the bottom here, we'll be able to see Enchanting Table. See that? Enchanting Table there. And it does have a buy price and a sell price, and then the slot is defined as well. Again, same method, 0 up here, goes to 8, and then starts with 9 on that second line at the first slot. So there we go. Now, why did it say our shop wasn't here? Well, that's because we have all of these shops, but the one named our shop isn't here. And that's why I said it was very, very important to keep that name and know what that name was called. As always, you don't necessarily have to do any code, right? You don't have to remember and code all this out by hand. Just come in here and copy from the first item in miscellaneous, copy from that all the way up to the top where miscellaneous starts. Then go down, and we do want to go ahead and create a new line. Just go into a new line, delete all of the spaces on that line to where if you hit back, it takes you to the previous line, and then paste that in. Now, did you remember how I said it was important that we remembered the name of that shop we added when we were adding in our piece of diorite here? Well, that's because right here is where we're going to need that. So we need to put our shop right here. Now you can name this whatever. I'm going to rename this from miscellaneous to, of course, our shop, because this is our shop. Our shop is blue here, so we're going to go ahead and make this blue as well. You can change the size of this just like you can. Hold on. Go ahead and getting creative there. Had these zombies messing around with us. But nevertheless, over here we do have our shop, and then the size is exactly like what we did before. How we made it smaller and larger, that's what we can do there. And as you can see, size 45. We're just going to leave that by default. Now if we want to change the background material, we can do that. I'm going to change it to white stained glass. I don't necessarily like white stained glass more, but just to prove that you can change that. Now, what are these go back buttons? See this? Go back, previous page, all of this stuff? Well, if we do /shop over here, I'll be able to show you that in fact you can see the back button, is right here. See that back button? That's in the center, and that's what we're talking about. If we go into one that has multiple pages, like blocks here, we can see the next page button and the previous page button. And on the first page of every single one of these, you do have this in the bottom right, and you can see your balance if you hover over it. So that is very, very simple and very, very cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get our first item added. So for this, we have a template already. As you can see, we have one here, and that's what you're always going to start it off with. You're always going to start it off with number 1 because, well, it's in line. As you can see, it's going to go up over time. It'll have 1 and then go all the way up to however many you want. Now we do have a type. So item is what it is by default here, but you can also do other things. For example, if we come back over here to our documentation, linked in the description down below, and then we come down to where it says enchantments and permissions, see that? I'm going to click that. You can do the type enchantment if you would like, and then name the enchantment and do all of that. And then you can do type permission. All of that stuff is labeled right here. You can also get some like different examples of like custom names with pickaxes, and then mob spawners can be outlined right here. As you can see, you're going to use a bit of a custom format for those items as well. I'm not going to be going over necessarily all of that because, I mean, there it is. If you want to come in here and do that and get that code from there, you can. But overall, I'm just going to be showing you how to add a few basic items. First and foremost, we'll just go ahead and change this from a bucket to we're selling diorite. I mean, it would just make sense. It's literally what the name of this is, or what the block of this shop is. For the quantity, we can go ahead and make it whatever we want. We'll do 64. For the price, you can make that whatever you want too. We'll do $10,000 for 64 diorite. That's a price nobody's going to pay. Now we need to add in a sell price, and you also want to make sure your sell price is always lower, right, than your buy price, because you don't want people to be able to buy something and then sell it back to the server for a profit. So if it's $10,000 for a piece of diorite, we'll go ahead and make it $5,000 to sell. Sorry, not for a piece of diorite, just for 64 diorite. You can buy that for $10,000 or sell it for $5,000. So nevertheless, the slot down here is where it's going to appear in game. I'm going to go ahead and do slot 0, just to show you that that is going to be the first slot in game. Now if we go ahead and save our shop file, we can come back over here, drag that onto our server, right like so, overwrite that, and then we want to come back in game and we want to do /shop space reload, and then do /shop. Now, if we click on diorite here, we will see there's the diorite. We don't like that positioning of it, so we can move it on to 1, 2, 3. Let's move it on right there. We'll put it on the third slot over, and so that's actually going to be number 4. And so what we're going to do is come back here, and we're going to change this to slot 3. Save that, come back over here, and upload it. As you can see, it is doing little changes. Can be a little difficult sometimes because you're just having to go back and forth, but that's okay. So if we click here, we'll be able to see that is now in the third slot, which is slot 0, 1, 2, and 3. Pretty easy, pretty simple stuff, and that's how you can add an item there. Let's go ahead and add one more. Again, you'll go ahead and just copy this because there's no reason to overcomplicate things. You can just copy this, make sure there's no spaces at the beginning, and paste it in. And then we do want to change the number from 1 to 2. And then as far as the material goes, what do we want this to be? We can make this granite. That sounds fun, so we can do granite here, right like so. As you can see, granite. Quantity is 64. Buy price, we'll make it 100,000 and 50,000 because why not? Now we can go ahead and save this, drag it over into game, overwrite there, and then reload the shop plugin, and we will be able to see that you can now buy granite for 50,000, but we forgot to do something. Where did our diorite go? Well, we forgot to move this forward a slot. As you can see, if both are slot 3, the one with the higher number up here, for example, 2 is higher than 1, will show up first. We want to move this actually to slot 5. So we go ahead and save, upload that, and then we'll be good to go. Now, that's kind of the basics of ShopGUI Plus. At this point, it's just adding in all of your items and doing all of that. As you can see, we have both of our granite and our diorite there. They actually have pretty good shops set up from the beginning that you can just kind of add items to, change around, do all of that stuff. But nevertheless, that is that. Now, we're not quite done just yet. We need to look right back here at the description of this video. These are all of the commands that you can add with ShopGUI Plus. It goes over everything from /shop, shop reload. These are the two we've used, but you can also do /shop, shop name. So for example, if we come over here and do /shop our shop and hit enter, it will open. Oh, can't access shop while I'm sorry. So let's see, if we come over here and do /shop our shop, it will open up that shop we created. As you can see, granite, diorite, there it is. Now, if you want to say add or sell something in game, you have a few options to do that. 3 specifically. You can do /sell space hand space whatever quantity you want. You can do /sell hand all, as you can see, or /sell all. So let's go ahead and just kind of do that real quick. I'll go ahead and buy some of this mossy cobble. Oh, I don't have any. Oh, it was able to. I could go in debt for it because I'm opt on the server. Nevertheless, let's just go ahead and once we've got that. Oh no, as you can see, we need $50 to buy that. So eco give all one. That'll be fine. $10 million. That's fine. So if we do /our shop, we can buy this diorite here. Confirm. Boom. So now if we want to go ahead and sell this diorite, we can do /sell hand, and then let's just say we wanted to sell 1. Boom, sell 1 for $78. Or we can do /sell hand all, and let's say we had diorite like spread out all through over here, right? All like that. If we do /sell hand all, right, like so, it will sell all of it in our inventory, whether it's in our hand or not. And then, last but not least, let's say we had a few different things in our inventory. Let me do a quick jump cut real quick to do that. So there we go, we've got a few different things into our inventory, as you can see. Now if we just do sell space all, right, like so, it'll sell all of that back to the server for a total of $50,000. Not too bad. But nevertheless, that is kind of that setup. You can get more information about adding modifiers right here, and as you can see, those modifiers are going to increase or decrease the value of that, depending on the shop and where they're bought and the player that has them. Some people will sell that on their Buycraft store, the ability to get more money for certain things, so there's different things there. It also does have some permissions, as you can see down here. Those can be checked out as well. In game, the one last thing I want to mention is what is happening. Oh, okay, I'm getting like attacked by something. But nevertheless, in game, one more thing I want to mention is if you do /shop, you can left click to be able to sell items, and then go into any of these shops. You can left click to be able to see sell prices, right? As you can see, sell all, or I died. That's a fail. But nevertheless, you can do that to be able to sell, or what is even? Oh, okay, it was that zombie. But anyway, getting distracted by Minecraft mobs. So once you're in here, you can left click to be able to sell, and you can right click to be able to buy, and that's indicated up at the top, buying iron ingot, whereas if we left click on it, it is selling iron ingot, and it's the same process. So pretty simple stuff, pretty easy to set up. ShopGUI is super powerful, super incredible, and something I would recommend for any Minecraft server. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below, and give the video a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching.